because we will have revenge. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Now you will experience the full power of the dark side.
Welcome, followers of the Dark Side and Light. I'm your host, John, the real JP3, and I'm joined as always by my good friend and fellow co-host, who is a master of the dark side, expert on the occult, and obtainer of rare antiquities and holocrons. Please welcome Dark Lord of the Sith, David.
I love how you started getting into the Courtney accent like halfway through.
Yeah, I try to change it up a little bit and see what happens.
A little bit for the people over yonder.
Yes.
I don't even know what episode this is, John. What episode are we right now?
120.
120. We took a little break after the giving of thanks. We didn't intend to not have a Monday episode, but bloody hell, the damn holidays got us. But we are back, and we are talking a fully loaded show today. As you know, John is the light, I am the dark, and we are here to talk Star Wars. I don't know what I'm going to stop because I can't go any further with
I don't know. Please, you sounded very nasally.
I am. I'm recovering from an illness. I wonder if I can do my Kylo Ren voice even better now. I'm going to try it later. Not right now because you're on the spot. Yeah, episode 120. We just had a lot of news kind of drop recently. Obviously, The Mandalorian episode 4 came out. That's one of our topics we're going to hit on, but we've got a lot of other stuff to go ahead and talk about. So, if this is your first time joining us, hello. If this is not, hello again. John, what are we talking about?
So let's kick today's show off with the Rise of Skywalker talk, which we are. What's today? Today is the 3rd, or today is the today is the 3rd.
Yep.
So we are, give or take, depending on how you want to count it. What we're about 3 is like 16, 17 days away from the Rise of Skywalker.
You know, it's coming up super fast, and I didn't even think it was going to get here this quickly, despite the fact that we've been waiting this long for it. It's surreal, man. Just like when The Mandalorian hit, I didn't think it was going to actually get here.
Yeah, I know. Me too. And you know, I think that a lot of it has been coming up recently about the fact that, like, we are getting so much Rise of Skywalker information right now. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I feel every single day there's a new TV spot, there's a new poster, there's a new article, there's a new everything.
What's wrong with that, John? What's wrong?
I'm just saying. To me, it's just like.
Do you feel you've been spoiled?
I don't feel that I've been spoiled, but I don't remember this being the case with any of the previous movies at all.
This is the last one to close out 9 movies, buddy. You got to hit it hard.
Yeah, but I also still feel that there's some, like, you got to leave some of it, like, we have received, I think I calculate, like, I didn't calculate it, but, like, I'm taking a guess. It's probably 20 TV spots in the last, like,
I don't think it's been 20,
maybe 3 weeks or so. I think I posted TV spot 10 and 11 like a week and a half ago.
No,
and since
I
then,
yes, that's fictitious. I don't think that's I think you're just making up numbers because you like 10 and 11.
No,
you're just making up numbers.
I don't like 10 and 11. I feel that we're just getting a lot of information, and it's just like, let me savor it.
But mind you, the TV spots that I have shown, they're not going crazy. They're not giving out crazy deets. We don't know what's happening. You know, they're giving us small little tidbits like the rocket troopers and, you know, every one of the cast members on that little boat that's fleeing from these guys in the desert. Chewie included. They can fly now. And then Finn, they can fly now. Poe, they can fly now. And then Rey, they can fly now. Like, I love that. Like, it's just one simple line, but the way they did it, every time they said it, it's like a question, statement, another statement, and like a question. Like, it just, I don't know. It was clever.
So
it was very
the TV's It was very cheeky. The TV spots have been nice. A lot of the shots have been shots that we've already seen.
Yep.
We've talked about previous ones where we got to see Kylo Ren, we got to see the Jet Trooper in the recent ones. We've also got to see the Sith Troopers a little bit closer up. We get to see Leia holding a lightsaber in the TV spot that I think came out like a couple of days ago. There's just, like I said, they give us little tidbits, but in reality, I think it's getting to the point where I feel like I'm getting spoiled, but a lot of the scenes that we've seen are from previous trailers that we've already talked about or seen. So I don't know. I'm
taking everything with a grain of salt because I remember for Rogue One they showed like this pivotal scene where Jyn Erso's standing on a platform and there's a TIE fighter right in front of her. That was a huge part of the marketing campaign, and it never made it into the final cut. So who's to say that a lot of the stuff doesn't make it into the movie?
Yeah, and that's very true. That's probably pretty accurate that they're not all going to make it into the movie. But I still think it's pretty cool scenes, especially when we got an official runtime from J.J. Abrams himself now. We are at 2 hours and 21 minutes, which is shorter than The Last Jedi.
No, it's still the longest. I saw the article. It said it's still the longest Star Wars. I'm fairly certain they said it was still the longest episode. Or did they say it came in shorter?
There was an article that said this is still the longest Star Wars movie, but they were incorrect.
Was it incorrect?
Because I went and checked The Last Jedi runtime. That's why I didn't post that article.
And I thought that was from a credible source.
The Last Jedi runtime was 2 hours and 32 minutes. This is 2 hours and 21 minutes. So it's 11 minutes shorter than The Last Jedi.
Bloody hell. It's all right, though. JJ's going to bring it home. It's going to be awesome. And, yeah. It's going to be a good time.
Mind you, this is also, hold on, give or take. So when you look at this search feature, it does say that it says The Rise of Skywalker is 2 hours and 35 minutes, but JJ has confirmed it is 2 hours and 21 minutes. So I'm going to go with what JJ says and not what Google says.
Yeah,
so.
Plus JJ said that they just wrapped filming like the day before he went on Good Morning America.
Yeah, it was the Sunday before, and he's like, I literally just finished last night. Yeah, he's like, I literally just finished last night. And you still, even all the TV spots, if you take a look at them, they all say, this film is not yet rated. This film is not yet rated. This film is not yet rated. So you got to understand, they got to get it into production, get it to where people can see it, they can rate the film, and then mass send it out to everybody.
Oh, and what a film it shall be. Did you ever get that fourth showing, John? Or you still have
me
in
in
purgatory? You still got me in purgatory?
I have you in purgatory.
Hey, man, this guy. After I got you fancy Star Wars cup from Alamo Draft House, little book. See how he treats me, viewers? It's horrible. Listeners?
Viewers, listeners, whatever you want to call us.
Exactly. Anyways.
So, a lot of movie posters, too.
Okay, which I dig the last one.
Yeah, so there's an IMAX movie poster, there's a 3D movie poster, there's a general movie poster, and then there's just an exclusive movie poster, which I do really like, that last one. But the other one I like, and I believe it was the 3D poster, if I remember correctly, maybe IMAX, is the Kylo Ren Kasuki.
The Kasuki mask, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why, but why did you like the last one that just came out?
Dude, it shows that pivotal battle that Rey and Kylo are going to have on this watery moon. There's one path, so there's no way out kind of thing, unless you're jumping in the water. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to really go. And in the background, looming, you have the Star Destroyers. It's so simple and elegant. I love it. It's not overly flashy. It's not having 100 characters on it. It's just the showdown. This is probably going to be one of many lightsaber battles that they have throughout this movie, but I think this one's just going to look sick because of the rain, the elements, and of course Finn screaming at the very end, "Rey!" while he's on the podium. Oh, Finn, you and your screams.
So the other interesting thing is that a lot of JJ went on Good Morning America. This is the Rise of Skywalker week. So they're doing and releasing different articles throughout the week on the Rise of Skywalker. And this was from Vanity Fair. And JJ said, hey guys, this is not just Rey's backstory. This is not just Rey's story or origin story. You're also going to find out a little bit more about Poe, and you're going to find out a little bit more about Finn. Like, you're going to find out more about their backstories. He said this has to be a cohesive, conclusive movie to end this 9-film saga, but you're also going to find out about these other two people that are pivotal characters in this new trilogy. How do you feel about that?
You know, you gotta have closure to every chapter, and we've gotten closure to, you know, Padme's story, Obi-Wan's story, Anakin's story for the most part that we know of. Yaba's story, you know, all these characters that we've grown to love. Yoda as well, whatevs. We've got the closing of Luke's. We're gonna get the closing of Leia more than likely. You know, Han's already gone, so everyone's gotten their story wrapped up nice and tight with a little bow on top, and it only seems right to go ahead and do this with the new trilogy characters.
Yeah, so I had the same exact thought process. I think it's something, it's not the story that I thought we needed. I don't think it's the backstory we wanted. I think they just opened up so many doors with The Force Awakens about Rey and wanting more about her backstory and who she is and where she came from, that we just assumed that's the only one we want to really worry about. That's the only one they really teased. But I think it's a nice surprise that we're getting Finn's backstory as well as, you know, Poe's, because we know that Poe's an awesome pilot. He was in the Resistance, but where else? Like, how did he become how did he get to where he is? And then Finn, we know he was a First Order trooper. You know, he talks about the fact that they don't have a name, that he's not a fan of the First Order and what they did and things like that. But we don't know anything other than he left the First Order. So I'm kind of excited. My concern as I continue to get all this information, it's going to go back to what I said earlier in the show. 2 hours and 21 minutes. You have to bring a cohesive conclusion to a 9-film saga. You have to give us Rey's origin and backstory. You have to give us Finn's origin and backstory. You have to close out Carrie's story, obviously. And you have to close out Poe's story. Like, and Kylo Ren's story at that. That's 5 people. Like, 2 hours and 21 minutes.
And Palps.
Oh, it's true. Sorry, forgot about Palps.
Luke is going to be there to some extent.
I'm just worried. I'm worried now. I trust JJ, and JJ, and you tell us all. I was going to call you JJ, and you tell us all the time, and you're like, trust in JJ. Like, we have to believe in JJ that he's going to do this, and I believe wholeheartedly with him saying it's going to melt your mind. I believe it, but I'm just like, I have to say I'm a tad bit hesitant, and I'm a tad bit skeptical. No.
Skeptical.
Skeptical. I was like, spectacle? Skeptical of the time and everything else he has to do and all the stuff that we have to get done. And I don't know. I'm worried. I'm concerned. I'm a concerned fan. Yeah.
You know what? Some of the best movies don't have the hugest runtime. You know, you can get a lot done creatively depending on how you write the story, how you intertwine characters. A lot can get done. I believe in the man. He's a beast. I don't want to talk anymore about not believing in the guy. He's going to finish it. He's going to set this one on fire, and everyone's going to love it. It's going to break records. I'm going to see it 4 times, maybe more. And, yeah, it's going to be a good time.
So you bring up the fact that we got to trust in JJ.
Got to trust in JJ, man.
Carrie Fisher.
He knows what he's doing. Oh my God! Oh, you're gonna go there. All right, let's do this.
Yeah. So Carrie Fisher wrote an autobiography. It was published. It's out there. In this autobiography, I'm trying to find I want to find the exact. Hold on. So.
Oh man, her book, man.
Carrie Fisher knew that JJ would be working on episode 9. I don't know how she knew this.
He doesn't even know how.
Discussed. He doesn't know how. It wasn't discussed. As far as they knew, it was Colin Trevorrow that was supposed to be working on episode 9. He was going to do Force Awakens and be done. He said he had never ever worked with Carrie Fisher before The Force Awakens. Never. Amazing lady, amazing actress. Loved
Huge
her.
respect, all
Amazing
that,
woman.
yeah.
Yes. And he said, never worked with her before. She passed away before Last Jedi was released. JJ said it was a very Carrie thing to write something like that. And basically,
Well, no,
Carrie
you
wrote.
didn't even. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gone. Carrie wrote in her autobiography, and she said to JJ, "Thanks for putting up with me twice." And like everybody's like in awe about this fact because JJ clearly stated in the article and has said, "I've never worked with Carrie Fisher before. She died before The Last Jedi came out. We finished The Force Awakens. I've never been in any other movies or directed any other movies, produced any other movies, or worked with Carrie Fisher before." But in her autobiography that she wrote prior to her death, prior to The Last Jedi being released, she says to JJ, "Thanks for putting up with me twice." Like, come on. Come on.
So when I didn't read that, I actually saw it because he went on the Colbert Show, and
Yes.
they talked about it. That's where I originally saw the clip, and when JJ said that, man, I got a little misty. I was like, shit, like that. And he says it best. That's a very Carrie thing. You know what I mean? Like, how did she know? How did she predict it? But yeah, just to go ahead and say that and kind of blow everybody's mind, I think that's just crazy awesome.
It's one of those things that I'm like, there was a lot of things that I felt that Carrie knew and she prepared us for and everything else like that. But just the fact of the matter that she says, like, "Thanks for putting up with me twice." Like, it just amazes me. Carrie is an awesome person. I cannot wait to see how JJ brought her into this movie, how he made it work, with us knowing these are shots that were done for The Force Awakens and were never used, and now they're going to be used in The Rise of Skywalker. Like, to me, I feel like Dave's going to get teary-eyed, guys, when he sees Carrie Fisher up on that big screen.
Heck, who isn't going to get a little misty-eyed, man? Like, to see what they've done with that footage and how they're incorporating her in these scenes that they said aren't throwaway scenes, they're pivotal moments. It's going to be impactful, man. It really is.
I just cannot wait to see this movie. And as I'm talking about it, I'm like, oh my God, the runtime's not long enough. Oh my God, I'm getting too much. Now I'm like, back in my feels. I'm like, I got this. I'm good. So as we talk about Carrie Fisher, talk about Carrie Fisher in her autobiography, something else that JJ brought up, and I think he did bring it up on the Stephen Colbert Show as well, is about the fact that they knew when they started The Force Awakens that Palp was going to come back.
Yeah. They said it was from the beginning part of the play, but naturally they had to keep it tight to the chest because the nature of, okay, hey, how are we going to have this guy Snoke as the big bad, but everybody knows Palp's coming back. You know what I mean? How can the fans know about that and take this guy seriously? So I get it. We all assume that they just went ahead and brought Palps back for the 9th installment as a Hail Mary, but from a story perspective, it doesn't make sense that they just decided to do it. No, if you think about it, he's been interweaved in the story from the very beginning.
Yep.
Episode 4, didn't see him in A New Hope at all. Didn't even know there was an Emperor. Episode 5, you see a little hologram. He's on screen for like 30 seconds, maybe, even that. And then in Return of the Jedi, he's the big bad and he's all powerful and all this. You didn't have to have him in every episode as the prominent bad guy. And that is the great thing about this character, that he's behind the scenes. He's the guy pulling the strings that you don't see. Exactly. He's the guy making moves and sitting right next to you, and you think he's your friggin' bro. And he turns out to be this massive, not kingpin, but massive genius on how he's running everything, and just doesn't want the credit, doesn't want the limelight. Perfect with misdirection, cunning, conniving, methodical. takes his time and just lets it roll. That is a true villain.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
That is a true villain.
Like dark side, funneling force through you right now, Dave.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, like the fact, and so JJ even made the comment. He said when Rian Johnson, they finished the script for The Last Jedi, JJ read it and went through it. He's like, okay, this isn't going to mess with our plans. This isn't going to mess with the plans that we set up when we started out with The Force Awakens. We're good to go. We're going to continue moving forward. And just in the fact that JJ was like, you know what? Rian did a beautiful thing, didn't mess with our plans, but he got to be his creative self. Works for us absolutely amazingly. I just think that, in my opinion, a secret to be kept for this long and not been said, not have anybody leak it, not have anything come out. Like, I know what my feeling and emotion and what was on my face when I heard the laugh at the end of the trailer at Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Everybody had the same reaction. The
room erupted.
Yes, absolutely. We all knew. We had no idea. And if anybody that listens to our podcast or anybody else that you know that predicted the Emperor coming back, I want you to tell them to send us a message because we're going to talk to them. And I want to hear their theory and why they thought that. Because in my opinion, I would have never known. Never would have thought that.
The only cat that I ever heard saying, the Emperor was still out there or looming or a possibility. The only cat I can ever think of that said that was Christian Harloff, who used to be on Collider's Jedi Council. Now he's doing his own thing. He's the only guy that said Palpatine was still out there, even after Force Awakens. He said it. It's crazy to think that was it a Hail Mary? Was it a guess? I don't know, but it's happening.
I know. I'm just excited to see and that's really in all the TV spots and all the trailers. We get the laugh. We get like a silhouette picture from the back. We haven't seen the Emperor, and I get why they're not going to release it or show that to anybody. But we never have seen that type of we haven't seen the Emperor in any of the TV spots or any of the trailers yet. Like to keep even that under wraps is like amazing and not release that because that's what the fans want. They want to know how he plays into this big scheme, and that's just, to me, that's super exciting, and I cannot wait. I just talked myself into being okay with this.
And God forbid they showed it at Celebration, and I'm just going to harp on it one more time. You and I, we weren't standing together. It was you, me, and Sweet Nelson that went. I forgot what the hell we were doing. I think you and Nelson already had your spots. I went to go wander off and go buy something or haggle and barter with somebody about something. I don't remember. And I'm standing there next to this dude, complete stranger. We're watching the trailer. We're murmuring back and forth before it gets going. And dude, I have never met this cat next to me. We didn't even get a chance to introduce ourselves. And the trailer's going, John. And by the way, it's David from Beyond the Blast Doors that I'm talking about. We were hitting each other's arms. We were punching each other, grabbing each other's freaking arm, bicep. And just when we heard the laugh and it just faded out to black and everybody erupted, me and this dude just turned and looked at each other and just said, holy shit, he's back. Awesome moment just because it was a ridiculous moment in Star Wars history for us as fans with a complete stranger. But regardless of his biases, my biases, what we think about all the previous films, whatever, in that moment, we were on the same freaking page.
So if none of you have ever met Dave from Beyond the Blast Doors, you realize that he's crazy. He is crazy.
In the best way possible.
He is outspoken, loud. People are going to hear this dude, and he is very he's very dramatic about things, but it's amazing, and it makes him who he is. And so when you're describing that, I'm I could see that from Dave, hands down, just oh my god, like not knowing what to do.
Yeah, and then after that, we're like, hey, my name's David. My name's David. Hey, I got a podcast. I got a podcast, and yeah, went from there.
Yeah, and then after that, the whole weekend, like it was crazy. You did an episode with him, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple episodes back. Gotta have him back on again. Good guy.
So anyway, but yeah, that's where we got that. The last thing, not the last thing, but one of the last things. Did you see the international trailer?
I did, and there's a giant snake monster attacking the Falcon. Poe says, something to the effect of, "This might be the last like hyperspace journey or time she goes to hyperspace." He says something to that effect in that trailer. So it alludes to, is the Falcon breaking? Is she on her last leg? Is she not gonna make it? Is she gonna get destroyed somehow? I don't know. Or is it just the classic JJ misdirection? I don't know, and I don't want to know until we get into the theater.
That's one thing I was like, I don't want to know anything about it. I was hesitant to even talk about it. You don't get a very good glimpse of it. You barely get to see it.
But you know what I'm talking about, though, right? You heard that line.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember hearing that line.
He says something like, "Oh yeah, this is the last." Like it sounds like
hoorah.
Not that exactly, but essentially yes. He makes it sound like it's the last time the ship is going to go through hyperspace or something. Okay. Or maybe they're out of fuel and that's a reference or whatever. Because we all know coaxium's been a big thing in the Star Wars universe ever since Solo. But, and then I don't remember which freaking TV spot, but you get an image of Poe in his X-Wing with his helmet on. Somebody crashes and the guy looks freaking heartbroken.
Yeah.
He looks heartbroken. So is that Zori Bliss? Is Zori going down? Is it the Falcon blowing up? Is it, I don't know. Is it Finn? I don't know.
That'd be an interesting way to close the story. But yes, I remember that part and I was like,
looks distraught.
Yep. He looks upset. He looks heartbroken, exactly as you described it. Like he just lost everything that mattered to him in his life. Like that's what it looks like. And I was like, man, but you don't see anything else besides that. And you hear him yell. I think he yells like right before
he
it
yells
happens.
Like no or something. My money's on Zori, but I don't know.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. But yes, I do specifically remember that, and I think it's come up in a couple of TV spots. Not very many, but a couple of them. Yeah, that I've seen it. So
okay, so right now, is it who do you think it is? Who blows up? I'm going Zori.
I don't think it's Finn. I don't think it's Rey. I can't see it being Carrie Fisher. I can't see them. That's how she's gonna be. I don't think he was that close to Rose. Yeah, it would have to be Zori Bliss because we know that they had a relationship. They had something previously in the Star Wars universe. We know that's been confirmed. We don't know what exactly, but we know they know each other. I don't think it's going to be any of the main characters, so it has to be somebody else that he's very close to. Besides BB-8, which I don't think they would kill off, I'm pretty sure I'm going to agree with you. It's probably going to be Zori Bliss.
Okay, I agree. What else has popped up in the trailers that's been a big thing? The TV spots. Anything else?
No, but I can tell you that John Boyega has come out and said he was the guy that left the script under the bed in the hotel.
I kind of knew it was Boyega. I had a feeling. He's a lad straight out of London. He's a party boy. He's a young man. Mistakes are going to happen. I get it.
So it was funny because one of the, like, once they announced the fact, hey, it ended up on eBay, there was an article that I read about it. They said, it may not have been a script from like a main character. So they were talking about the fact of Zori Bliss's character. And of course, I don't remember who plays her. And Dave's going to correct me here in a little bit. But they said that she only received the lines for her segments. She didn't receive the full script. She didn't receive every act. She didn't receive every scene. She only received where her place was in the movie. And so her script is dumbed down to almost nothing. So it's not as important. And so the article was like, it was probably somebody who like a lower person who didn't have as many lines, didn't have as many spots, and then they come out, it's John Boyega. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty significant part.
And
So
the
I'm pretty
fact, and the
sure
fact that they had it on eBay,
yeah,
the cleaning person in the room put it on eBay, didn't know what the hell it was because I think they had it up there for what he said was like 60 pounds, which I don't know the conversion rate off the top of my head. Sorry. Um, yeah, 60 pounds, and like somebody at Disney's like, hey, I think that's real. Okay, let's buy it. Turns out it was real.
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. So just to say, John Boyega is the one who fessed up and said, it was me. It was me. And JJ was all trying to be like, hey guys, I'm not going to tell you who it was, but I'm
He's like,
very
but I want
upset.
to.
Yeah, but I'm very upset. So we'll just leave it at that.
And Zori Bliss is played by Kerry Russell, by the way.
There you go. I knew it. It was on the tip of my hair circle.
Your hair squirrel circle thing.
Yes.
Um,
Anything else on the Rise of Skywalker? We kind of jumped around. We talked about different TV spots, posters, international trailers, Vanity Fair. Kylo Ren also talked with Rolling Stone, and there was an article that we posted today, which would be Tuesday, December 3rd, about the fact that he doesn't like to be in the limelight. He wants to live a normal life. He has a son, I believe. He is married, and so he prefers to live a very quiet, normal life outside of the spotlight. That's why we probably don't see him at a lot of celebrations or Comic-Cons. We don't see him with a lot of interviews. But he talks about his life in the Marine Corps. He talks about his life in acting and how much fun he's had and the characters, what they've taught him. It's a pretty long read, but it is a good read. I have not finished it completely, but I would go check it out. I was very surprised. And there was even a comment about the fact that this is something that we should treasure because Kylo Ren or Adam Driver does not do interviews or talk or things like that. So just a little bit tidbit.
I don't know if it was from that article or not, but they asked him, kind of what made you do the role, and right away he said, "Hey, I was very apprehensive. I didn't want to do it." Kathleen Kennedy had seen some of my previous work. She really wanted me to try out to do the role of Kylo Ren. And what sold him is the fact that he's not your normal type of villain. He's conflicted. He's vulnerable. He's got insecurities that, you don't see the Emperor have. You don't see Vader have. You don't see any other Sith Lord, Dooku, Grievous, Maul, anybody have that second or third dimension, if you will. Kylo's fully fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
He's fully fleshed out, and again, I'm going to go back to when he's not wearing his mask. You see the levels of platitude he goes into as an actor, and that's what sold him, the fact that he's not the mindless. I think this is an exact quote to some extent, a psychopath. Somebody that's just bent on destruction, pain, all that good stuff. So I think that was pretty cool. That's the reason he signed up for the part, because the conflict, the friction there, as your dog Hera just continues to bark in the background.
It's not Hera. That's Pennywise.
That's Pennywise.
And I'm the only one at home, guys. I'm sorry. So I could not get up to go tell her to be quiet.
Nah,
I'm pretty sure there's
it's
somebody
right.
outside. That's why she's barking.
The other thing that I found was super cool is he kept a Kylo Ren costume.
Yes.
He kept a lightsaber, and he says he's got it in his apartment or his house, whatever. Apparently, he lives in a building where there's other people, living in the building with him. And he says, like, the kids in his building, they're super nice to him. And when they see him in the hallway, they say, "Hey, Kylo Ren. Bye, Kylo Ren." I just think that's friggin' adorable. They see him as that, and they say that. And he goes along with it, you know what I mean? Because they're kids.
Yeah, and I know he was in that other movie. I forget what it was called. You went and saw it. You said it was super cheesy.
The Dead Don't Die?
Yeah. But other than that, he was in another movie on Netflix, I think it was. But he's not been in a whole lot of parts.
No, he has. He's just been in indie stuff.
Oh, okay.
He's an indie kind of guy. He does plays on freaking Broadway. Like, he's an actor. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. So is everybody else on screen. They're technically actors as well, but this guy, he chases the passion projects, the little small independent films that have heavy-hitting, thought-provoking plots. That's all I'm gonna go with. Plus, he was in a movie called The Dead Don't Die with Bill Murray, which is pretty awesome.
Dave said it was extremely cheesy. I never saw it.
It's extremely cheesy, but that's what you know what you're getting when you go to that.
Yeah. It looks good from the previews, and Dave's like, I don't think you're gonna like it, John. I just have never seen it. I didn't go and see it. I'm sure it's out now and I can watch it, but I just haven't done it yet. So maybe one day. All right. Anything else on the Rise of Skywalker? I like I said, we jumped around. We got a lot of different things to talk about. There's a lot more that's coming out, but I don't have anything else on my list.
Rise of Skywalker, it's around the corner. I can't wait. Can't wait to see what happens. And awesome lightsaber battles. Ooh. Sorry. The Duel of Fates song from Phantom Menace appeared in one of those TV spots.
It did.
Just hit me. Sorry.
It did. All right, so we're gonna take a little slow off mainstream, depending on who you ask.
Ooh.
2 new books were announced in the last couple of days that will be coming out. They haven't been announced. We got the dates that they will be coming out. One of those books is the Thrawn Ascendancy called Chaos Rising. It will be released in May of 2020. No official date, but it says May of 2020 based on the article that I read, and it is posted on our Facebook page, plus the cover art. So that is available too. And then also there will be a prequel to Queen's Shadow written by E.K. Johnston, Queen's Peril, that will be released May 5th of 2020. So I'm assuming the Thrawn Ascendancy book will be released after May 5th.
No, both of them on the same day.
Really?
Yeah, I looked it up on Amazon today because I was going to put that on my Christmas list.
There's no more gifts you're getting on your Christmas list.
You've already got me gifts. What'd you get me?
Nothing. So anyway, Queen's Peril, E.K. Johnston was very happy about the fact that Queen's Shadow did so well that they decided to come back and do a prequel, so she will be writing that book as well. So 2 new books. I know Dave's super excited for Thrawn Ascendancy, Chaos Rising. Obviously, it's on his Christmas list. He'll probably get Queen's Peril as well because he has Queen's Shadow and he's got to have the other book. He's a completionist, blah, blah, blah. So.
And it would just look fantastic on my shelf, John. I don't do it for me. I do it for the shelf, okay?
Oh, you do it for the shelf.
I do it for the shelves.
FYI, guys, he has an insurance policy just on his books alone.
What's wrong with caring for what you love, John? What's wrong with that? You have you're going to get an insurance policy on your house? On your car? On your kids? On your significant others? On your
You
doggies?
get insurance policies on your kids and your significant others in case something happens to you, buddy. Sounds horrible.
Same thing with my books. If my books die and they pass on, I want money to replace them.
With inflation, he wants to account for inflation.
Of course. Capitalist. Jesus.
Anyway, so those are the 2 new books that are coming out. I'm sure a slew of other comics and things like that are going to be released as well. We do our best to keep up with everything that's going on in the Star Wars universe, guys, but sometimes it is a lot. There are days,
right now.
Yeah, there is a lot. There are days that Dave literally sends me 6 articles at one time or within the course of an hour, and just trying to make sure we get all that information out can be very tedious, especially since we both have full-time jobs. But we do our best. Sometimes may be delayed. But if you have anything that you see that we may not have posted or we may not have talked about on a show, send it our way. We have a fan that does that, Matt. Matt will send us articles, post things for us, or not post them, but he'll send it to our page, and so we can see it, and then we usually turn around and post it. That gets the conversation going, and we love a good conversation. So, I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about on the show today, Dave.
How dare you?
I think we're done.
How dare you?
We need any more.
This is not the way, John.
This is not the way. I have spoken.
This is not the way.
Spoken.
Formal protest.
But, guys, Baby Yuck is back in episode 4 of The Mandalorian called Sanctuary, which aired last Friday. We have another episode 5, coming this Friday, which is being directed by Dave Filoni. He's back for number 5. Real quick, since we were talking about directors, sidebar, I have not read this article. I refuse to post it. All this hoopla about Rian Johnson wanting to come and direct season 2 of Mandalorian.
Not a full season, but an episode.
Whatever. I'm not posting it. We're not talking about it. I just felt like it's hoopla.
Think of it this way: if he came back and did a kick-ass episode of Mandalorian, that's a good way for him to get buy-in back with the fans and not have that stigma of, oh, you ruined Star Wars for me kind of thing.
Yeah, but
Redeeming quality.
I think I get the redeeming quality. I think John
Star Wars
Favreau,
is
as
a
well as
redemption story at its core, John.
which I think Dave Filoni, John Favreau will do a great job with making sure that he stays the course. But it could be that I hate to be this negative guy, but it could be the episode that everybody's like, "Yep, we knew it. Now he ruined the Mandalorian," which is the only thing that reunited all the fans. I don't think that's the case. We'll see what happens. As far as I know, directors have not been announced for season 2. Or maybe Dave has a photo that he's like, "I'm going to send this to you right now." See, Dave doesn't have a photo. But anyway, outside
Filoni
of
told me I
that,
couldn't release it.
I have spoken. No, I'm joking. Other cool things. Baby Yuck is back. Baby Yuck merchandise is available
For
You
pre-orders.
you can get bags. You can get cell phone covers. You can get notebooks. You can get T-shirts. You can get pillows. And today, there was an article posted that a release from a Reddit user inside a potential retailer that's an internal investigation. 10-inch and 6-inch Funko Pop Baby Yucks. $8.99 for the 6-inch. $29. I think it's a
Yeah,
20,
$29.99.
24. Sorry, $24.99 pre-order. No, I'm sorry. You were correct. $29.99. Set to release early 2020, and Walmart. However, I don't know what's going on, but Dave sent me the list. If you search Baby Yoda for plush toys on Walmart.com, it will show you a beautiful Baby Yoda that's available for pre-order and will be released May 24, 2020, and it's $24.99. The problem is when you click on that link to order Baby Yoda, it takes you to all their other plush toys and does not let you see Baby Yoda anymore. Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know. Are you gonna order it? You want a
No.
Baby Yoda?
No, Baby Yoda's cute though. I liked the laptop case that they had, the phone case of Baby Yuck, and I was like, I like Baby Yuck.
I'm not gonna go down that road.
I know.
No, can't do it.
Other real quick thing, which I know you and I both love Stranger Things, but in just 3 episodes, 3 weeks, The Mandalorian has unseated Stranger Things as the 5-month streaming service leader. 3 weeks to 5 months. Wow. And Stranger Things is in its 3rd season on Netflix, and it's been unseated in just 3 episodes of The Mandalorian.
Do you blame everybody for?
I don't blame them. There's all there's also articles going around about the fact that Disney Plus users are jumping ship quickly. They can't keep up with the demand and everything else. I, for one, have not had a single issue with Disney Plus since I started.
No, I'm good.
It was just the first day, which there was a lot of downloads, a lot of people trying to watch The Mandalorian. I get it. But they even had a Cyber Monday deal for Disney Plus.
Are you serious? That's awesome.
It was like a reduced rate of like $3.99 a month for the next year or something, or the next 3 months or something. It's pretty cool. So, all right, Dave, you can talk about episode 4 of The Mandalorian now.
You didn't even say that episode 4 was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh, she was also in Jurassic World, which is one of Dave's favorite movies in the entire world.
No, it's ridiculously horrible. I refuse to watch that movie. The fact that she's running at full speed in heels with a T-Rex on her butt makes no sense.
Dave, you're the one that told me this is different. We don't wear heels. John, you need to learn how to run in your boots.
Yeah,
you never know when you're in a situation.
And you don't run in your boots very well.
I don't. I look like a freaking Clydesdale running in my boots with 2 feet. But maybe someone told her, like you got to learn how to run in heels, baby girl.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay. Where do you want to start? Where do you want to go? How do you feel about this episode? What did you think? We got a new character. 2 new characters, really.
What can I say? Baby Yoda's freaking adorable. Keeps getting more adorable by every episode. You got Gina Carano coming on screen for the first time in Star Wars. What'd you think?
I was kind of unsure about the character. I like Gina Carano. She was in Deadpool. But I was like, you know what? I don't know what character, what is she going to bring? But I have to say that I was really impressed, and I think she did a phenomenal job at bringing the character to light and just kind of showcasing, hey, I think she was, I'm trying to remember, I forget things. She was a deserter, correct? Or she left?
She didn't. Well, she kind of deserted, but in few simple lines of dialogue, she says like, "Hey, I was on the ground floor at Endor. Like we were mopping them up. We did this. This is what we did afterwards." And then I stopped being a shock trooper. I started being a protector of diplomats and all this other jazz that she didn't sign up for.
Yeah.
She signed up to be in the trenches. And then they had her escorting people and doing all this other stuff that didn't fit her role as a soldier. So she bowed out. I get it. She's one of the people that, loves to be in the fight, but doesn't want to win the fight and deal with the reconstruction process and all that jazz. Something about her. I dig it. Dig her character.
I'm excited to see what else we see from this character. What else she brings to the table.
Other than manhandling the Mandalorian?
Oh my God. I was like, oh,
I gotta meet Gina Carano. She's a beast.
So
I saw some of her fights on YouTube, just like, oh man, that girl's bad.
Right here, right now, she shows up to Star Wars Celebration in August. You get in a picture with her.
Oh heck yeah, she's awesome. If I can, I'll try and do her and a Pedro combo.
I would go for that one. I would go for that combo.
If he goes to Celebration, do you know how hot that line is gonna be?
Now you got to get in there early. As soon as they announce it, there's no waiting like we usually do. We got to do it.
Well, last year, oh my God, I'm scared about this year's coming up Celebration when they announced those tickets. Remember how crazy they went for Chicago?
Yeah.
It's going to be ridiculous. We actually have to take the day off to make sure we secure our tickets, man. I ain't playing, John. I ain't playing. I want to meet young Lando. I feel like he's coming this year.
You feel like he's coming this year?
Yeah, I feel like he's coming this year. Anyway, Gina Carano, beast.
Yeah.
I love the Old West feel in this episode. You got a little town of villagers. They're getting bullied by raiders. Just so happens the raiders happen to have a AT-AT. No, AT? No, it was AT-ST, sorry.
Yes.
And they're in peril. They go seeking the Mandalorians' help. But before we get to that, I just love how the Mandalorians, he's walking around the little town, the little camp, with little baby Yoda, walking right next to him, all adorable and cute and shit. And, little Yoda's got a little cup of broth, hanging out. Just chilling.
It was cute.
Just chilling.
It was cute.
And, the Mando's got to go outside because he wants to follow Gina Carano, and he's looking for her, and he tells the waitress right away, just like he flicks some coin at her, some credits. Is like, hey, watch the kid. When he wants information, he flicks another coin at her, or like pushes it against the table, like, hey, tell me what I want to know. Very Old West, very cavalier kind of thing. I totally dug it. And of course, the soup slurping as they were both pointing guns at each other, and the light-hearted comedic value, not in your face, not slapstick, but Pedro and Gina Carano have guns on each other, and all he says, "You want some soup?"
Yeah.
Like just calming the moment. You know what I mean? Very, very Han Solo, very roguish thing to say at that time.
Yeah, the Western style in this episode was very much apparent, very desolate. And at first, though, I will tell you, so when we first started out, we come upon this farmland, and they're harvesters. Shrimp. Yeah. And I was like, are we going to, is it Mon Calamari?
Mon Cal.
It's like, are we going to Mon Cal? I don't remember this being like a part of the thing or whatever.
No, so Mon Cal's completely underwater. The cities are underwater, everything. Yeah.
And so I was like, maybe that's where we are, and I'm not picturing it right. And then all of a sudden I see like this basket go under, and they're like, oh, we're. Eventually you find out they're krill harvesters. And this is where we meet another character, played by Julia Jones. Her name is Omera, and she's a krill harvester. And
There's
they
more to Omera's backstory. I'm telling you right now.
there's a lot more to Omera's
Baby girl can
backstory.
shoot. Like
I,
she's the only one in that village that is popping shots into like
yeah,
dead anchor or shit
she's the
like that.
only
No,
one that's she's like the only one that's saying like, yeah, I can defend myself. I'm like, wait a minute, where did you come from? You're a krill farmer. You have a kid. Like, did you meet your husband? And this is where he was like, hey, this is where I live. Come on, let's move in here. Like, what is? I agree with you. There's some backstory. There's something there. Something there.
Mm-hmm.
And she is inquisitive about the Mandalorian. She wants to know about the Mandalorian. She wants him to take his helmet off. Like, she wants to flirt with him. She wants him to stay there with her. Like, all these
First of all,
things.
she's like, how long has it been since you took off your helmet? And again, in the very sly, casual way, he's like, I took it off yesterday. And she's like, no. How long has it been since someone's seen you without a helmet? And then you find out it's been since, he was a kid.
Yeah, it was a foundling.
Yeah, so which I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and to me, it was a very good episode. It wasn't the jam-packed episode that I thought we saw in episode 3, but this episode I felt gave us some segue into what more we may see or what else may come out of this, because I feel like we're not done with these characters, just like I don't feel that we're done with Werner Herzog's character. I think we're going to see this guy again. I feel we're going to see him again.
This was very much so a change of pace episode.
Yes.
You slow down a little bit. Let's take a breather. Let's get a little bit of backstory. Let's learn a little bit. I don't feel it's like a different arc, if you will. No, it's just it's going through the paces. It's letting us flush out the character of the Mandalorian, his relationship with Baby Yoda, and the fact that he's becoming more humane, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Which we didn't really get that from the first episode. He's softening up because of the little dude. I did find it very interesting that they said, well, he said, once you take off the helmet, you couldn't put it back on.
Yep, you're done.
So that's very intriguing when it comes to what we know about Mandalorians before.
And we've talked about this on a previous episode, I remember, where we talked about the fact of, do you think the helmet would ever come off? And then the fact that he says you can never remove the helmet, we're like, but we've seen several Mandalorians that have removed their helmet prior. So this also begs the question of, like, what else? What do we not know? Did something occur where they're now saying, no, like, we're not doing this anymore? Like, this is the way. This is the way, and this is how we are going to do things moving forward.
This is the way.
And I'm wondering if that's the case. And I think there's more information that we will receive, obviously. Like, we still don't know about the, it's not the guild, the underground Mando.
The other clan of Mandos?
Yeah, the other clan of Mandos that protected him so he could get off the planet. Obviously he said, you're going to have to move the clan. Like, you're going to have to get out of here because they're never going to be okay with you here again. They're going to kill y'all. We still don't know what happened to them. We still don't know where they are. When we last saw them in episode 3, they were still fighting off the bounty hunters. So I think there's a lot more that can come out of the show. I'm just excited that it's already greenlit for season 2, and we're not even done with season 1. And we still have, 5, 6, 7? We have 3 more episodes?
Yeah. We have, 4 more. Total of 8.
Oh, sorry, we do have 8.
Total of 8. I just love the fact that episode was not so much darker, but again showing more humanity. That ATST looks scary as hell with the red interior at night. You never see who's piloting the darn thing, but that they're smart, they're cautious. I don't remember the race of aliens, the Raiders, but they look like freaking pit bulls. They
Klatooinian?
Sure. I don't have it in front of me, and I'm not the best at pronouncing. Um, but yeah, those guys look like dog face dudes. I
Yeah,
know we've seen them somewhere else before. I can't remember exactly where. I want to say somebody said they were on like Jabba's sail barge in Return of the Jedi. But yeah, dog face dudes just pillaging, plundering, taking what they want. I want to know more about the Mandalorian's potential love interest, how she knows how to shoot, where she learned it from. Because there's no blasters in town. There's no blasters in the village that we saw.
yeah,
Every weapon they had was out of the Mandalorian's inventory. Um, everybody thought Cara Dune was going to be possibly a love interest for the Mandalorian. Still might be, but right away she's like, why don't you stay here and stay with the beautiful widow and, have a family and hang out with the little kid, your little dude? Could that be her honestly saying, hey, like, do that? Or is she a little jealous and saying that while she actually has eyes for the Mandalorian? You know what I mean? We don't know.
yeah. And so he ends up having to leave the planet. He wants to leave Baby Yuck there, but a bounty hunter comes out, tries to take out Baby Yuck. Cara Dune
Which
identifies him,
which
shoots him from behind.
everybody freaked out, I'm sure, when they were watching it at home and they see that bounty hunter get little baby Yoda in his sights.
Then you hear the shot.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, no, not Baby Yuck, not Baby Yuck. But
Which that's a classic Indiana Jones move.
yes, it is.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes,
So when Miriam shoots the guy from back that's about to shoot Indy in the bar fight,
yes,
I
it's
loved it.
classic.
I loved it. I was like, that harkens back so much. I just love it.
But yeah, so you have that, and he was going to leave Baby Yuck with Julia or O'Mara. Sorry, not Julia is the name of the actress. Leave her with O'Mara, but then when the bounty hunter shows up, he realizes it's no longer safe, and there's going to be a continued bounty after him. So he ends up deciding to leave the planet with the kid.
Because he knows they're going to keep following.
They're going to keep following. They're going to keep
The
coming
only way the
after
kid's
him.
safe is with him.
Yep. Which is, and I don't believe, and I'm trying to recall, Cara Dune did not go with him. Is that correct?
She did not. It made it seem like they were parting ways at the end of that episode. So hopefully she comes back. Hopefully she comes back because I liked her character. I didn't feel her to be very stiff. She had some good points or good lines, good way she carried herself. I'd really like to see what she can do with that character further down the road.
I agree, and I think it's the same thing. We didn't think we were going to get Werner Herzog's character again, and we did in episode 2. I still think he's going to come back, and we're going to see him again. I think the same thing.
Well, no. I thought he was coming back, but you were going off of IMBD, and they said only one episode.
Oh, now he's going to turn it around on me, make me
Did you
feel
not?
like I'm the one.
Let's go back to episode 115. Let's talk about it.
115. Did you just do some real quick math right there in your head?
It sounds good.
Yeah, so I think I know we're going to see her again. They played up her character way too much for us just to be the end. How she comes back or how they end up meeting again, who knows? She could come back saving his life again. Only time will tell.
I want IG-11 coming back also, though. Because I feel they hyped up IG-11 so much, and now the dude's gone.
I said this.
But
I said it was too much hyped up.
But I'm reiterating again, why can't it be the same for Cara Dune?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if they're willing to write off IG-11, which had so much hype, so much fan intrigue, why wouldn't they do the same with Dune?
Very true.
I think nothing's off limits. They're testing the water, seeing what works and what doesn't.
Because I also said like, hey, Nick Nolte's a big name actor, and then you're just gonna put him in like a small, not Werner Herzog. I kept saying Werner Herzog. It was Nick Nolte's character. My bad, people. My bad. Just realized like I'm saying the wrong person all the time.
Well,
Nick Nolte's character. The whole time I'm talking about Nick Nolte, the Ugnaught. I still think we're going to see him again. Very well-known actor. Werner Herzog. I pray to God we see this man again. I love him. Love him.
He didn't die in the Mandalorian battle purge thing.
He did not. We didn't see him. I got to see him again. And we're still waiting on one other big-name actor that we know is in the series, and it's Giancarlo Esposito. I'm very proud of myself for that.
Yay, Johnny.
So,
Which he's coming soon, man. I think we're not going to see him until episode 7. Episode 7, episode 8. That's where he's popping up.
or we close it, where they close out the first season, and then we have to wait till season 2 to see him.
We're going to see him in episode 7 and 8, but he's the big bad that we don't know is out there.
Scary guy. And we're also waiting on, I think it's, is it Wendy is her name? The other actress that's is supposed to be in The Mandalorian as well. She voiced the Little Mermaid in the cartoon, and she is supposed to be showing up. I think
she voiced
soon.
the Little Mermaid in the cartoon?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
No, you didn't know that?
No. I thought she voiced the frickin' Mulan character.
Oh, it was Mulan. Damn it. I am all over the place.
I was like, what
today.
the hell, dude? Like, Little Mermaid came out when that chick was a kid.
Thanks, Dave, for keeping me grounded.
All frickin' jacked up and happy.
Ming-Na Wen.
She voiced the Little Mermaid. Didn't you know this?
Ming-Na Wen is her name. Well, and I was like, man, I know this because Dave doesn't watch Disney movies. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Dave knows what he's talking about.
Just took the lead out of your pencil.
You did. You did.
Sorry, buddy.
Anyway. I don't know. I'm excited. The last 2 weeks, I've not been able to watch it on Friday, but this week, I am watching it on Friday.
You need to because it's heating up, man.
I know. It's so good. Okay. Anything else we talk about? Mandalorian, Rise of Skywalker, books.
I think I got nothing else, man.
Okay. Guys, if you're in the market for a lightsaber...
I thought you were going to say, every time you say this, I think you're going to say, if you're in the market for some used droids. I think you're going to say that every time.
Dave, we don't talk about that on the air.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
If you're in the market for a lightsaber, because I'm starting to get itchy and I think I want to buy one now, but I got to hold off buying a casa.
You need to have it and put it in your casa.
Oh.
You're going to buy me
Head on over to our friends at ultrasaber.com. Pick out a lightsaber, anyone that you like. When you go to check out, enter coupon code FORCEFIELDS, all one word, all caps, and you will receive 10% off for the Balance of the Force, a Star Wars podcast. It does not work on accessories or discounted lightsabers. You can also find some of our t-shirt merchandise, laptop cases, cell phone cases, coffee mugs, and all other different designs for Balance of the Force, as well as we still have some The Rule of Two, a Star Wars podcast content up there that you can get an order from tpublic.com. Shipping for Christmas will be ending pretty soon, so make sure you give yourselves at least a 2-week lead time if you're going to be getting it as gifts. That's what Dave's getting, FYI.
I do need a new phone case. I'll take a phone case.
Anyway, guys, we appreciate you tuning in today. We are Balance of the Force, a Star Wars podcast, and as always, may the Force be with you.
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy. Yeah, we shall